Riga Kalfas, 22 years old. He liked the lane conditions on that shot.
Both these gentlemen have a lot of attributes. Mr. Vogelgesang making the top 32, and the Hoinky Super Classic just bowled phenomenal. He also broke the jackpot pins for $5,400. And George, you probably don't know what those are. Those heavier weighted pins.
Oh yeah, I've done some jackpot bowling there. Yeah, never won.
Well, take a look at this jackpot. This is a bonanza for Riga Kalfas on this left lane. Lane number 11 treats him well. Of course, he treats the 1-2 pocket brutally. 10 in a pit. Great shot by Riga Kalfas, opening the show with a double. But Nick Vogelgesang is not going to run away and hide. The big torquing dude will be there.
In fact, he describes his style as crank it up.
Pump up the volume.
There you go.
Yeah. He doesn't let anything on the table either, George, and his type of game is similar in some ways to a Glenn Meese, the roll of the ball, the action on the pins. That is a great shot also. Nick Vogelgesang starting slowly, but once he gets it cranked up, Jen, you've seen him go time and time again, just strike after strike. Nick,
he's phenomenal. And not only that, he really makes his spare as well. And for that is why he's got so many accomplishments. I found something interesting on Riga's paper. Of course, all these gentlemen hand in papers to us telling all about themselves. Riga just switched to a 4-step approach this year with the help of Diane Cushman. And after all the success he's had last year...
Well, he's actually had a fabulous year, and this replay will show a fabulous shot. Riga Kalfas starting with the first 3. This is frame number 3 you're watching. The 1-2 pocket again. The ball's going to jump a little to the left and deflect, take the 8-pin straight back, but the action on the 7 is plenty to create a triple for Riga Kalfas. And Riga, again, is the guy that provided us with all the excitement 2 years ago with a 299 on television.
He opens this match with 4 in a row.
Called it. You want to see it. Riga Kalfas is putting on one heck of a bowling clinic for us. Repetition. Again, no sign of sighing, no sign of nervousness. Going through his routine, one frame at a time.
And of course, it's been a great many years since we've seen a 300, has it not, Dave?
Goes all the way back to Mr. Dieter's Stones Lanes, and it's been a decade ago at least.
Riga Kalfas 2 strikes away from 15 grand. Went high.
You heard the player in the background yelling, "Hole, hole." That's Ron Bonnard, one of his fellow left-handers. Knowing that he pulled up on the shot right at the point of release, Nick Vogelgesang just going to finish out just to get out of the way. Obviously, Riga Kalfas, our winner of this match.
Wow, what an exhibition.
Absolutely.
88. Balls he's thrown here, so the man is on fire. Jim Beckler, lane number 2, right on the nose.
Going high on the right lane. Again, obviously the left side is conditioned well. Riga Kalfas showing us that it's definitely hittable. This particular start of Jim Beckler's game is not as impressive as some of his other victories were, but I'm sure he'll figure them out and get on track here. Cross lane for the 4-7 and makes it.
As always, Mr. Sammy Coleman doing our official scorekeeping today. Sammy is the past president of the Greater Cincinnati BPA. He was that in 63 and 64, and he was inducted into the Cincinnati Hall of Fame in 1966.
Deservedly so. Slammin' Sammy. Jim Beckler looking to get on track here in the 3rd frame. A couple of spares up, but the way Riga Kalfas is bowling, that may not cut it. Again, a little bit high.
Jim obviously not very comfortable. I don't know if the 280 had anything to do with it, but looks like he's pressing a little bit, not utilizing what area is out there. It's either that or Riga Kalfas is just throwing the ball that good. Difficult spare to bring back, but it's there. That's
Very
the way you
nice.
do it.
He hammered it.
Qualifying next week is going to be at...
That was just buried.
See him talking to the king back there. Or we call him the prince. 19 years old. I don't know if he's old enough to be a king, but...
Well, he is on this show, and he's waiting in the wings for the winner of this one.
And, of course, collecting $1,000 a week along the way. Oh, Greg.
Oh.
Greg Fiegel going to open the door wide for Riga to come running through with a split on lane 10. He leaves the 4, 6, 7. Almost unmakeable. He gets the 2 on a strike, and you heard Jen rooting him on back there, and that's because 2 pins on a strike is like getting 4 pins added to your total.
Yeah, he falls behind here, though. May have to get things cranked up now, because if Riga found the magic formula with that last shot, who knows what he's liable to close out with.
Well, you're right, George. Once he locks in on a shot and he's comfortable with it, he can shoot anything. But I don't think we're going to see Greg roll over and play dead yet.
Not at all. That was a good answer right there. Pair of righties in this first match.
Doug Wilson did beat out Bill Huffman this morning in the roll-off for the game at 2:42.
Doug's first shot on 11 looked pretty good, but the results anything but.
That's the one thing you don't want to do, is start the match off with a physically good shot and pay a bad penalty, because psychologically now you might start thinking negative right out of the box. So 4-9 split. There you see it. The idea is to make the ball go just to the left of the leftmost pin, the 4 pin, and slide it over into the 9.
And you talk about the rocky start. You consider this is his first time on television. And he ends up with a 9 count for that frame. Now Wayne Schuerman will be up on lane number 12, and Wayne's the veteran of this telecast.
Been on many, many times, George. That's why at the opening, you know, if you're going to give an advantage to anyone, experience normally is an edge. And even though Doug Wilson bowled a fabulous game in the roll-off and had a lot of potential talent, when the lights first come on, you wonder. But actually, Doug made a better shot, opening shot, than Wayne just made.
And, of course, we have Chris Woods, who's the manager out here at Gilmore Lanes. And I understand Chris had a couple of 800s this month, and also 2 300 games.
Phew, that is not shabby.
That sure is. And he'd like me to remind you all that Gilmore Lanes does have open league now for me for the summer.
Wayne Schuerman looking to cover 3 of them. He did it.
So 2, 4, 8 covered up properly. That's exactly what you want to see. We've had some interesting stats given to us by a couple of our friends, and in warm-ups we actually timing the players, and Wayne Schuerman was a consistent 18.4 miles per hour, which sounds a little high to me, to Wayne, but if everything being consistent, he is consistent through about 10 shots that we timed, and Doug Wilson was a little more erratic.
Leaves the 7 pin here in frame number 2. So the veteran from Erlanger trying to get untracked here. He's been a 6-time king.
He's been on the show for 20-some years too, George, off and on.
The man knows how to get it done, no doubt about it.
By the way, qualifying is going on at Pinhouse Lanes out in St. Bernard today, so you can go out and catch that. And I understand 593 is cashing for the men, and there's also 603 high for the women. And that is definitely beatable.
So Doug Wilson up here in the second frame, looking to get a little untracked. Had the big split in frame number 1.
As long as he doesn't let the bad break rattle his nerves, and he throws one just as good here, he should be right in the ball game.
It's on the way.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect, George. I'll tell you what, for a first-timer, he's thrown 2 great shots. Let's look at his release here. This is where it all starts. Index finger well underneath the ball, lifts up through the ball. Good position at the foul line, stays down. 1-3 pocket filled up. Boom, that's the way you want to do it. 10 in the pit.
Those pins didn't have a chance.
Our top women qualifier from Gilmore Lanes was Robin Bosk, and once again she had a 700 series.
Wow, 700. She has got the hot hand. Incredible. On the left lane, 2 super shots, and Doug pays a penalty again. If you're going to say it's a bad break, let's look at the bad break here. The ball actually cuts through very sharply in the 1-3 pocket. The 5-pin, second one back in the middle of your screen. Watch it. Goes straight back instead of over towards the wall the way it should go. And bad break for Doug. 3 great shots.
Yeah, he covers the 7-pin with ease. So he spares out here in the 3rd frame. We will pull out our audience contestant first.
We have a Jeff Fritz.
Okay, Jeff, come on down to lane 11. And our home player is...
Mr. Howard Hahn.
Okay, so Howard will be interested in this one. Jeff, give that golden ball a whirl there, and he will get a free game of bowling for each pin he knocks down. He'll get the jackpot if he gets them all. Just missed. Just missed. Well, Jeff picks up 9 free games of bowling for that, along with our home viewer, Howard. So we'll be back with a little bit more bowling right after.
Rarely will we see plastic balls on the show, but there are conditions that you will see them, but today isn't one of them.
George Hensley up here in the 2nd, a 21-year-old accountant.
Boy, he really turns up all nice.
Puts his whole body into it, and we'll take a look at the release at the point right here. He puts his whole body into it. Like I said, a small guy going for maximum turn, maximum revolution, and he gets a good position at the foul line, good hand position at the finish. That's how you generate the roll and revolution there, folks.
And George bowls out of Delfair Lanes in Delhi, and of course that's where our champion comes from, Glenn Meese, who we're going to see in the next match.
So George covers the spare here in the 2nd frame. So we are dead even through 2.
I'm sure he would like to meet his compatriot from Delfair Lanes. Our champion in the warm-ups is looking as strong as ever. He told me before the matches today he's ready to bowl. Not necessarily meaning he's going to bowl well, but his attitude is up, and from what I'm looking at in practice, yeah.
And Glenn was high yesterday at Pinhouse. So even if he should not win the kingship today, he will be back in a couple weeks.
That's right.
George Hensley makes the adjustment there on the left.
No signs of being nervous at all. That's great.
This guy not looking too nervous early on either, and this is his first television appearance. George Hensley.
As you said before, he's 21, Glenn Meese is 19, and Doug's only 27, so youth is prevailing here.
I don't know if I like that.
How well I know.
Right, Dave.
Going a little high on the right-hand lane, leaving a 6-pin, the right-hander's 4-pin, and that's caused by going just a little bit tight.
Dave, you're going to have to get out there and hold up the end for us geezers, huh?
Jeez, I tell you what. I've been riding this desk so long, I don't know what it would feel like anymore.
George Hensley talking to himself there a little bit. I didn't know you did that at that age, 21 years old.
Whatever works for you.
That's right.
Work for George Hensley here in the 4th. He's up by 2 pins after 4 frames, so another tight match. The first one was good and close.
Right there in a brown sweater right over George's left shoulder is Sarge. That's the man keeping our times on miles per hour and such today. He's busy writing. Every time you look at him, he'll be writing something. There he goes again. He's keeping track of things. We're going to try to do a little study on speed control as well as target control. The slower you throw the ball, the more it's going to hook. The faster, further down the lane before it hooks. That was a great shot there.
Boy, when he hits them, they go everywhere.
And we're going to go someplace right now, but don't you?
Advantage of a bad break is a good thing to do, because it could get you down instead. Riga comes right back with the spare.
Tim Sharp, right away, right behind him, answers the call with an absolutely perfect strike. No deflection here. Watch this ball roll through the pocket. 5 goes straight back, takes out the 8, and the 9 pin is annihilated. We've got a messenger pin, but nobody to answer to.
Nevertheless, Tim Sharp's still in a lot of trouble, down 41 pins through 5. But has the double.
As we go to the score, we can see that Tim Sharp is in trouble, but he's not out of here. He's got a double working in the 6th and 7th frame, open in the 5th with 87. He's got a lot of pins to make up, but we got a lot of paper left.
Of course, every week the women do qualify for the finals and also get a top prize of $200. I talked about Robin Boskin before. She had a fine score of 713 this week to win the top prize.
That is chopping some wood.
That's sure.
Kalfas with the strike. And he is putting together a game.
Okay, we're going to trip out the 6. Keep your eyes on the 2nd pin from the right-hand side of your screen. The head pin's going to go right back, shoot the 3 pin to the wall, whirly bird out, take the 6 pin out late. It was either the 3 or the head pin. Even in slow motion, sometimes it's hard to see how Riga strikes. but he's one of the greatest, George.
He gets it done.
Gets it done. And talk about a fine individual, Riga Kalfas. Can't say enough nice about him. His father supports him all the time.
And his wife, Shelley, around all the time. As a matter of fact, it was real cute because Riga put on his sheet he's been married to Michelle for 1 year and 10 months. So he's still counting the months, so we thought that was really sweet. Shelley, she's a sweet gal and comes every week out to watch her.
I don't know about you, George. I count decades of marriage.
I'm about to that point. Oh, Dave, you get me in trouble every time.
Yes, Sandy, I love you dearly. Looks like a good shot here. Absolutely. Now watch. You want to see something? This is interesting. 7, 9 will be the 2 last pins down. 7, the left-hand part of your screen. The 9, middle back row. Watch. Go slow. Go slow. 7, 9. What are we looking at? Yeah, but they're out of here. Sometimes you're going to leave that shot, Jen, and I've seen you leave it several times. You throw a great shot, George, and you pay a penalty for it. In bowling, that's what keeps the interest up.
A 4-bagger for Sharp now.
We told you, don't count him out.
That's right. He strikes in the 2nd, has a double. Of course, Whalin working on his strike in the 1st frame.
Both these gentlemen practice quite frequently. Riga practices 15 to 20 games each week, and Mike practices 35 to 50 games.
He really corks that ball, doesn't he?
Well, Mike Whalin, exceptionally strong player. Take a look at it here. This ball isn't going to deflect. Chances of this ball going anywhere but to the right are slim and none. Pockets completely filled up. Messenger pin not needed. The 8 was already on its way to the back of the pit.
Mike's comment about his bowling style is that he's tried to cut down on his hook and keep the ball more in play, and I think he's done that quite effectively.
He opens with 3 in a row.
Jan, you make a good point, too. He does it with speed. And
Monday at 8:30 p.m. It's a 70% handicap based on 200. It's a $20 entry fee, and it will be starting, or the next one rather, is on Sunday, February the 4th at 8:30 p.m. Come on out to Fairfield. It's a great establishment, and it should be a lot of fun.
Our king, Jim Beckler, opens up with an 8 in the 1st frame. So the men kind of feeling out the lanes here. We've seen some big scores today. 224 to 223 in game 1. Game number 2, Kalfas advanced 246, 232.
Whoa.
The chop. The chop in frame number 1 by Jim Beckler, and he's already behind.
Did you happen to notice where he shot that from? A controversial, or left or right, or from the same side of the lane? We quite figured that out yet.
yeah, well,
He chopped that one hard. And I think he actually was shooting in cross lane.
Yeah, he was. And again, it's whatever you're comfortable with, and actually you ought to chart. You ought to chart what you have the most success with, Jen. And right.
Yeah, you have to be comfortable.